Welcome to Industry Insiders, created and produced by the Center for Entertainment and Hospitality Management at California State University, Fullerton. During this series, we sit down with influential professionals in the entertainment and hospitality industries that are located across the world. Our goal is to learn about each professional's career and gain wisdom from their experience in the industry. This week's guest is Tara Stangel. Tara is currently the head of lodging supply at TripActions. TripActions is a leading platform that combines industry-leading technology and best-in-class travel agency service. They are trusted by over 4,000 companies globally to protect traveling employees while controlling costs and saving money to drive business continuity. In addition, Tara has years of hospitality and travel experience, working with companies such as Hotwire, Expedia, and Kimpton Hotels. Please join us as we welcome Tara Stangel.
All right, welcome Tara to Industry Insiders. We have to work on our names, but good job there. So welcome. All good. We're glad to have you. And our co-host is Joanna Sosa Lazaro. So Joanna, welcome.
Hello.
Hi, this is Joanna's second time hosting, so you're becoming a quick veteran. So well done. So we're excited to talk to you. I'm going to let Joanna start us off with our first question, and then we'll go back and forth and have a nice conversation.
Perfect.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, Tara, so what do you find to be the most rewarding working in a digital tech side of hospitality?
What's most rewarding, even though it's a digital tech side of it, it's still people. And that's probably why I just love hospitality, because it's people. And in our space is I'm able to bring more of the people side of the hospitality into our company and merging there may be some gaps of it from that area. So what I love is the people internally, the people externally, and that I can lend some of the experience that I've had, laughter, fun. And then back to the digital space, it's just new. It's innovative. It's new. It's bringing the dark ages of the hospitality back office into, real live stuff, which would be kind of cool. But yeah, that's what I like about it.
Now it is fun. You're right. It is fun. A lot of work. It's fun too. So you went to University of Nevada, Reno, correct?
Mm-hmm. I first went to another school at Long Beach, but I ended at University of Nevada, Reno.
Okay.
And earlier you were talking about, the students at Fullerton that were really into hospitality because Disneyland's so close. And that's where my first job was, the front desk at Disneyland.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Yeah. Keep going. Go ahead. Tell stories.
This is a while ago. So this is pre-internet. And if anybody's listening, that's about the hotel business. Everything was handwritten. You had to write little, yellow cash outs, paid outs, miscellaneous charges, bucket checks, all that crazy stuff. You had real keys that sometimes didn't work or you couldn't find them. And it's Disneyland Hotel, right? 1,150 rooms, and you're checking them in, checking them out. And I loved it, absolutely loved it. I became a concierge, became a cleanor, which is fantastic. Just had to know everything without a computer. Imagine that, telling somebody where to go and just pulling out a map and telling them how to make right directions. I mean, yeah. I was the original Siri.
Yeah. I remember when hotels had actual keys, and if people lost the keys, you had to rekey it and it got to be expensive. So
Actually putting the keys in this huge bucket and taking the keys and putting them in the slots, that was the 3 to 11 shift on a slow night. And you're just like, picking up keys, stick them in the slot. Crazy.
What inspired you after finishing school to kind of continue and stay in the hospitality industry?
So what inspired me was, one, I like taking care of people, and I had background of working in the hotel because I switched in between the schools. And I wanted to go into some other areas, but because I had this experience and I needed to start paying off my student loan, there was jobs available in Scottsdale at the front desk. And I was like, okay, I've done that. I've been there, done that. Let me just do this and do something else. But then, you start doing the front desk and you become a front desk manager, you become a rooms manager. The reason why I've never left hospitality, I think, and this is back to, I just like taking care of people. It's fun, it's easy. You get to meet a lot of different people, and every day there's a challenge, and you get to solve something for that day, and you get to make somebody happy, which is a lot of power that you have, and it feels good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I stuck with it.
Yes, and you're benefiting from your resilience, so to speak, for sure. So you went and you were a general manager at a Kimpton hotel, and that's like a really, really prestigious kind of big position in the hotel industry. What made you decide to transfer from kind of operations and the hotel side to the digital side?
From the operation, two things. The biggest thing was to go from being a general manager of a hotel to switch over to Expedia's. I wanted weekends off.
Fair enough.
I wanted weekends off, and that's one. Personal reasons, I wanted weekends off. Second reason was it is really hard to make three people happy, and the three people happy being the owners, being the employees, and the guests. And this was after 2001. So after 2001, after September 11th, just hotels started closing down in San Francisco. So I was fortunate to where I had two hotels. I was given a choice, either don't have a job or pick up two hotels. Great, I will keep my job and I will take two hotels. And then it was, okay, tell one staff, like you either have two shifts or you have no shifts. You're gonna have to do doubles. So after that time was, you're constantly working. And of course, to make the owners happy, you're going to have the highest rates, the lowest salary, no operational problems. To make an employee happy, you're trying to get the highest labor, wages. You want everything in the building to work, everything, elevator works, all that great stuff, really cool uniforms that are changed and cleaned every day. And to make the guests happy is they want everything for free. That tripod, if you will, is really hard to do. It requires a lot of energy and effort as a person. And at the time, my personal life was changing that I just could not. I needed to be selfish and take care of my family.
Yes.
So
yes.
Made the change over to Expedia because it was the best of. They came in, they sold rooms, they gave me, as a general manager, they gave me a bottle of champagne and they left. And I thought, I want a job where I can leave the front desk.
Right.
I don't have to take that call at 11:05 because the night auditor called in sick.
Yes, I have stories. Joanna, did I ever tell you about stories when I had got called in to work night audit after I'd been out, maybe enjoying a couple of beverages in Chicago? Did I ever share that story with you all?
I believe you did. You even told us some wild things that happen being front desk and everything you witnessed from guests. It's always crazy.
Oh, yes. I told you about the story when I was at the front desk and the young lady climbed over the desk and chased me into the back room.
I think you told me like other stories about it.
Yeah. Okay. So in class we have story time. I share some stories, and I've seen some crazy things. So for sure.
Crazy times.
For sure. Before we get to Joanna's next question, explain to everyone, what do you do now? What is your job responsibility now?
So currently right now I work for TripActions, which is a corporate travel management company. And what TripActions does is we have corporate clients. So clients such as Dropbox, Lyft, Okta, Wayfair is a new one. They use our company to help them manage their travel for their employees. So their air, their hotel, their car rentals, the billing, the duty of care, the safety. We know where employees are traveling. We are able to notify their travel manager. So what I do, I'm responsible for getting the key partnerships with the hotel companies, Marriott's, Hilton's, IHG's, independent hotels. One, so the hotels have a direct relationship with us, so we can give to the client. Between the two, they can give an elevated experience. We can establish this as a way of as a travel agent for these corporate accounts. So I'm responsible for bringing in, the little tiny company like Marriott, the one that with their Salesforce, that little tiny company. And it's when I picked up this role about over a year ago, I was leaving, I'd left Hotwire and Expedia, and my intention was to not do it again.
Right.
I'm done talking to hotels. Let me go do something else. And then as I was thinking about this, I was like, well, what else could I do? And I thought, and this is interesting. One, I love talking to people. I love talking to hotels. And I thought, okay, changing my career. Do I want to start on the ground floor, or I already have the elevator up to the 100th floor? Why on earth do I want to waste the energy of climbing up steps to establish these networks that I've built up over time? And it was a no-brainer. Like, all right, let me help this corporate company. They're brand new, establish this connection, utilize what I have, the network that I have, the people that I know, and to say, hey, come aboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Excellent. Excellent. Joanna, go ahead. Your turn.
Yes. To learn more, how often do you communicate with companies like Marriott to continue the partnership, continue these, I guess you can say, negotiations to have them be partners with TripActions?
Yep.
How often do those meet?
I'm not a transactional person. I'm just not a one and done, right? And there's some people that are like that. But in this hospitality world, and especially in this hotel world, and I could talk about this, is you never want to burn a bridge, and you want to build these connections. So I talk with them maybe once a week, text. You get to this part of, especially more so now, because they're in a really uncomfortable situation where, we'll talk about, these brands have employees that are furloughed, and they're not sure if they're going to bring them back. And so it is human. It's that human connection that you're just trying to, consistently, you become friends, and you don't want to leave your friends when they're struggling. They want to be able to talk to somebody versus, their spouses at home or their kids at home. They want to talk to somebody that perhaps isn't within their company, because, they want to vent to them. But I do talk with them, if not once a week, every other week, to be in contact. Now, I'm horrible at not talking to my old friends, but they'll eventually find. I'll find them. Happy birthday on LinkedIn is the best thing in the world. But I do. I think it's important, again, if you think about it as transactional, it's just signing one agreement, contract, be done with it. You're not going to go far in the hospitality business. You're just not going to go far in business, especially if you want to be in an industry. Whether it's the entertainment industry, you just keep building these contacts. I mean, Amani and I met, I don't know,
2007.
Yeah, 13 years ago.
Yes. And here we are, catching up like old friends 13 years later.
I know. I was begging him desperately to give us, I don't know what I was begging him to do, but, PowerPoints, whatever it was. And yes. Crazy. But yeah, this is the best thing about this industry is in the hospitality. People are friendly and they want to serve other people. They're just humans. And I love that part.
Yeah. You've had the chance to hire many, many people, whether they be professionals, college students coming out of school. What are some of the most important characteristics that you've seen in people that you've hired that have let them continue on to be successful?
When I look at somebody to hire, of course, what do they do? Were they on a team sport? Super important to me. Are they, which I will never be able to ask, but I'll, during the conversation, figure it out. Are they a member of a large family? Because then you understand compromise, right? You understand what it means to share. You understand what it means to, inside the house, you might be arguing with one another, but outside the house, you are it. You're protective of other people, because I think it's really important to have that. So when I first look at people, beyond what they're doing, but as they start to build, is really building their brand. Who do they want to be? Who do they want? In a year from now, are you somebody that the CEO wants to call out and give you the employee of the year? And what does that look like? What do you want to be known to do? And I think it's important the people that are successful early on, they have somebody who they trust to tell them, you're on the wrong bus.
Yeah.
Right. And it is one of the hardest things about it is when somebody's so passionate, they want to do something, but they're just not good at it. And they're good at something else. They don't think that what they're good at, what I see that they're really good at, is something that they're so good at. They just think it's not that great. An example would be, as a front office manager, and there's a gentleman who really, I don't know why he had it at the front desk, because he hated people. And he would doodle. He would draw cartoons all the time at the front desk overlooking, and there's a piece of paper, and he's drawing these crazy cartoons, like cartoons, and he has little bubbles, and they're funny. They're super funny cartoons like you'd see on the Sunday paper. And eventually it just didn't work out. And I said, look, why don't you go be a cartoonist, be that person? He's like, oh, I don't think I'm really that good at it. I'm like, well, you are not good at taking care of people. So, and he said, okay. And he said, hey, he calls me like a month later. He's like, hey, will you give me a recommendation? I'm like, I'll give you a recommendation for any job that's not at a hotel. If it's a cartoonist, cool, I'll do that. But and Matt, take care of your passion. And so he eventually ended up being a cartoonist, and everything's great. And I probably should reach out to him, because that was like 20 years ago. But it really is finding somebody as your direct manager or a mentor or a professor that says, hey, being honest about what it is you want to do and helping you build your brand to get there, and thinking about that. Those are the ones that I find that are most successful, that know what do they want to be known for.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, and what have you been able to do to kind of manage your time so well? Because you have to manage many different hats. You have to manage many different relationships, lots of meetings. What are some tips in terms of time management that you have that have been beneficial for you?
I used to use Outlook, but now I use Google Mail, so whatever, my calendar. And so two things. Friday afternoon, I just look at what I have to do the following week, and sort of either to do over the weekend, which I never do. But then I put blocks. Absolutely, a lunch break is important, because you just need a break. Like literally, you probably need it. And then I put blocks in the morning, and we use a thing called Clockwise, which helps. But you put blocks in the morning, just stop your email and pay attention to the big things. Maybe two days a week where there's like 3-hour chunks where you're not interrupted, which really helps. Anytime I have a partner meeting, if I was talking to a hotel, I don't do it back-to-back meetings. I may do internally, because you can be late, but you can never be late when you're talking to somebody that's not in your company. Well, you shouldn't be late when you're talking to somebody in your company anyway. It's just rude. But if you have a meeting, if you have something you have to do, be on time and be prepared beforehand. It's courtesy. So I will block 15 minutes beforehand. If I'm going to the airport, I block a lot of time buffer. So I have a lot of buffer time, because the back-to-back is not okay.
Good. Now, if you're tuning in, make sure you leave a question in the comment section, either on Facebook or YouTube. I'll go to Joanna first, and then we have our first question from the viewing audience. So go ahead, Joanna.
Okay. In your opinion, what do you think, how does TripActions differ in terms of culture, like company culture, compared to Expedia and any other like digital travel company platforms?
One of the great things about the companies that are in travel is they come across this an innate nature that people are traveling and they want to have the hospitality. So TripActions is a relatively newer company. We've been around for 5 years, even more so, and I say in the last year and a half is where we got our full growth coming into it. What's great about the culture here, and that I see is stronger, and Expedia had a fantastic culture. It was really, I was there for 14 years. I wouldn't have been there if I didn't like the people, and if I didn't like the education and the opportunity for advancement was there. What I see at TripActions, and why I really believe in this, is that everybody is connected to the CEO, to the vision from day one. The onboarding experience, the resources and tools that we're given to really expand our knowledge and the different hats we get to wear. When I say we get to, it's not because we have to, it's like we actually get to. We get to venture into other areas and lend in the voice or experience. We are really good at socializing who we are and being out there and building the brand of TripActions, which makes you feel good. When you can see your brand, whether it's a commercial or something on LinkedIn, and they're adding voice and they're communicating to the community, it shows that we care. And that's what people want to belong. They want to belong to something that cares about people, that we're, investing more into our diversity and inclusion. We're not just saying it. We're not just putting, a thing across the top of our website. But we're actually thinking about it. How do we help other companies that use us? How do we help them start thinking about it? How do we encourage and how do we incentivize them to really make a difference? We are strong with our women leadership, which is fantastic. We, like all companies, have to get better of having a variety of folks that are within the company. I'm one of, I think there's a little over 1,000 employees and only 2 of us are Native American. So there's a lot more growth that we have to get into some areas. But we have that opportunity. And again, Expedia was very strong in it, extremely strong. I was incredibly proud of what we've done over the years, or what we did over the years at Expedia and Hotwire. But I wouldn't be there and I wouldn't be here if I didn't think it was good. Not that you can believe me, everything I say you can believe, but let's go with that.
Yeah. You mentioned diversity and inclusion. You spoke or shared a quick story about a gentleman that you just hired to kind of maybe share a little bit about that, because that's very interesting, I find.
Yeah, we have this gentleman. His name is Shaka Sangor. He recently joined us full time as our head of diversity and inclusion. And Shaka is such an incredible person because his story starts. He grew up in Detroit, and it started just something that you would never wish on somebody else. So unfortunately, through his life, some bad decisions, and that led him to make more bad decisions that ultimately got him convicted. And so he spent quite a many years incarcerated. And during that time, just the struggles he had during that time, and for him to come to the realization that he wasn't a bad person, he just made bad decisions, and he was just trying to get himself out of that. So since then, he's written books, he's talked with Oprah, he's met Obama, he's really big with our investors. He was able to meet our investors at a dinner, met our CEO, and then had this conversation and clicked. So he started consulting with us about a year ago and just lending his story. And the greatest thing about his story, one, teaching us how to do storytelling, but also teaching us have a different view, because in the tech space, we are privileged. We are people that go to school. We are people that get paid extremely well. We're ballers, I guess somebody might call it, but we sometimes forget that there's other people and we have a responsibility. And so he reminds us of what it is and helps, guide us. Very excited to have him on board, because it's nice that we're not just thinking about digital. We're thinking about humans. We're thinking about our responsibility as we continue to grow, as we want to become a very large company. Let's be responsible today and not have it be a box at the bottom of, the things we want to do. Let's lead with it.
Cool. Great story. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, super cool guy. Check him out.
First question from the audience is from Alex. Hello, Alex. Alex says, hi, Tara. Thanks for your words of wisdom. My question is, what is your best advice to always stay learning and growing as a person?
Right now is a perfect opportunity to get so much learning for free, which you got to be disciplined by it. And whether it's whether you're going through the school, or you're going through LinkedIn Learning, or you're going through something else, but there's places to learn. What I just started doing myself is I like to read. And sure, I like to read spy books. And if I'm really bored and out of pool, I'll read Danielle Steele. Nothing wrong with her, amazing woman. But I started because I like to walk. Well, I have a million step challenge. And so I thought, well, if I'm walking, let me start listening to a book. And part of this came through, as we're talking about Black Lives Matter, I started reading or listening. So I'm listening to the new Jim Crow, and listening to books while you're doing something physical, it allows you to think and start thinking about it. Because one, you want to learn not just what your trade is, but you also want to make sure that you're spending time learning something that you wouldn't do. And I find listening as I'm walking keeps me I pay more attention. The other thing is I would say not trying something new. I mean, I if I say it, I probably would do it. I really should learn SQL. I really should. I mean, if you guys don't know it, you should figure it out while you're young, because I think it's easier. And the other thing is I go from a Dell to a Mac. Now, if you're a hardcore Microsoft person, you switch over to Mac, it's like writing with your left hand or right hand. I know nobody writes anymore, but let's just eating. like just teaching your brain to switch is do it early on, because it gets harder as you get older.
So let's kind of stay on the book topic, because
Not older, more experienced. Sorry, more experienced.
I always tell the students more mature. We don't talk age; we say more mature. So yes.
I would just say more at bats. Let's just do that.
Yeah, okay, more at bats. There you go. If you stay on the book topic, what are some books that you've read recently that really have stood out in your mind? And then I have a recommendation for you. Have you read The Sun Does Shine by Anthony Ray Hinton?
I have not read The Sun Does Not Shine, or The Sun Shines.
The Sun Does Shine.
Oh, good.
That's a good one. Like, with Black Lives Matter and everything, that will talk to you about. It's a really great story. And the narrator is actually the lawyer who helped get this man who was put on death row incorrectly in Alabama. It's an amazing story. So I recommend that. But what books do you have that have come to mind that really stand out?
They're behind me, so I'm looking at them. As I look at them, I was really big into leadership books. And there's one, I'm going to mess it up. It was Train the Best, Forget the Rest, or something like that, which is really good. And what that meant was take care of your A-star players, because they're the ones that are going to bring you along. And those that are not into it, then don't do it. Another really good one that I just... I'll reread on occasion, or I'm looking up the name of it over there. Hang on a second. Wow.
Yeah, go get it. You can go get it. While you go get it, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to play a commercial for our Educate and Elevate. So hold on. Here we go.
CSUF's EHM Center and EPI bring to you Educate and Elevate 2020. One of the first virtual events with top industry insiders from entertainment and hospitality, along with exclusive performances, plus more. Get ready to hear from leading companies such as HBO, Disney, Pandora, BizBash, Warner Records, Netflix, and more. From the comfort of your own home, reserve a front row seat to the next level of your career. Register now.
So we're back here. So Joe, as Tara comes back, what session or tracks are you most excited about for Educate and Elevate?
Let's see. I'm interested in hearing a little bit more about the gaming track, again with Jimmy. I know he was here, industry insider, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be new content. Different.
Yeah.
Gaming sounds interesting.
Okay, cool. That's good. Gaming is interesting. I'm really interested to see what the mental health people share with us. We have a great group there. Music, of course, I'm biased to music. That's gonna be good too. So, all right. What's the book? You got the book there, Tara?
Okay. Well, the one I was thinking of, it was called First Break All the Rules. Super cool book. If you're a manager, really, really super cool book. If you have to sell things to your company, this is amazing. The Pyramid Principle. Barbara Minto really is. This was given to me by one of our CEOs, Dara Khosrowshahi. He said, Tara, you got these great ideas, but you got to make them simpler. Read this book and then give me a presentation. And then another one is called Measure What Matters.
Ooh, okay.
Which is OKRs, Objectives by Key Results, which is a really good goal setting situation. But those are great. And the last one that I should finish reading is Great by Choice.
Oh, those are some good recommendations.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of them. There's probably 100 over there. Now we have like 3,000 CDs, so a little bit more into music.
Yeah,
those are really good books as you're beginning out and you want to have an idea. Not even beginning out. Anytime I interview people, if I'm going to get, we thought about hiring 100 people to underneath me. We thought about that. Obviously, we're going to make some changes, but I start reading these books because it really helps me remind myself what we're trying to build, because it's people.
Yeah.
You want to bring people on who want to get better.
Yes. Learning is earning. Love it. When you interview people, what are maybe one or two of the favorite questions that you ask that are the most revealing about a person? If I can, I like to interview people at a lunch or breakfast or something like that. I like to see how they treat waiters, which is it's incredibly important. I like to also watch how they order, right?
And I know this is rude, but it's funny, right? Like I'd like a salad with, 3 nuts on the side and this and that. I'm like, all right, you're never going to work in our company because nothing is so specific to you. You're just going to have like, here's a buffet, figure it out. But if I can't take them out to eat and where it is, I always let them ask questions. And if they don't have any questions for me, then that worries me that they're not intellectually curious. They don't want to know. Then I ask them, like, how do you like to be managed? And people, they say, I don't know, I don't care. It's like, all right, then I'm not the right person for you to work with, right? And it is about our company, but it's also about, I'm here to help you get better as who you are. Yeah, which is going to help us make money in the company, which is always important. You can't do that if you don't have people who inherently don't want to get better at who they are. So questions, other fun questions are, what'd you do last weekend? You'd be surprised at how many people are crazy and tell me the craziest stories.
Wow.
I don't do it at the beginning, but I establish this trust usually like 23 minutes in. I was like, hey, so what did you do last weekend? It sounds like, you're having fun learning or whatever it be there. Oh, I got totally wasted, drunk, stole a boat. Okay. It was nice talking with you.
Yeah. Very revealing. That's interesting. What do you think is the best follow-up that you've seen when you've interviewed someone? Because we talk about a lot in our school, especially EHM program, that the fortune is in the follow-up, whether it be thank you notes or some way to uniquely make yourself stand out when you follow up. What have you seen that's really impressed you?
A handwritten thank you note is the bare minimum that I feel. It is cool. A handwritten thank you note. I know people do emails, but just, you want $150,000 out of me, buy a 55-cent stamp and send me a note. Like, I mean, it's just bare minimum. And I'm a huge thank you note person. I should be better, but yeah. Other ones that are really cool. Somebody gave me, somebody, and it was a gimmick that she wrote a thank you note, and in it was it was on an organic piece of paper where you put it in soil and it grows, a plant grows.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it was super cool. And I said, you know what? You're too good for this job. You need to go into marketing. Like, you need to go into, I don't need you to answer the phone. You really need to do something else. You're incredibly talented and gifted. And where'd you come up with this? Did you see it on LinkedIn? Because I never saw it before. She's like, no, I just thought about that. Like, I thought it'd be nice to give to you. I was like, go do this. Go sell this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but a thank you note, an email, sure, but come on, it's 55 cents. Throw somebody a bone. Treat them like, just be nice. I mean, you used to write notes to Santa Claus. Shit.
Yeah.
And he probably just gave you a $10 toy. Now you want someone to give you money and healthcare and 401k.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's good. That's why I asked. I will throw it to my partner, Joanna, for her next question, and then we'll keep it moving, but great examples.
Okay. So what do you think students should be doing now besides learning? Like, what should they be practicing to become, like, if you want to work for a hospitality industry, and like, I can agree with you, you need to have like a lot of passion. What do you think students should do to just practice ways so that pretty much, what do you think they could do to get started, to see how, I guess, the real world would be, like there's a lot of nice things talking to people, but there's also, customers who get angry. What do you think they should do to see all aspects of hospitality to better inform themselves?
One of the things I would do is while you're doing nothing except for watching TikTok, read TripAdvisor reviews. Find the reviews that are the worst, because you're going to, whether it's a 5-star hotel, read the worst reviews, because these are the things, and just think to yourself, how would I respond, right? Fake it, write a little letter. This is how I would respond to it. That's one good way, because you're gonna really see what people want out of a hotel, and it could be an amenity. It could be most of the time it's just an attitude, or somebody didn't take care of them, and it's service. So think about that, because that, be prepared for that, and be able to, like, what would I do in this situation? What would I do in that other situation? Another one is, even if hotels are closed or whatever it is, just go to a business and say, hey, you know, I got my mask on, my gloves on. I just want to be the door opener for you for the day. You'd be surprised that feeling that you get, and do you like it when somebody like, hey, that's really nice. If you really like opening a door for somebody, you're going to do amazing hospitality. If you don't and you think it's a boring job, don't do hospitality, because you're doing yourself and the guests a disservice. So that was when I would, you know, it's just a day. It's 5 hours. Go to 7-Eleven. I'm sure the guy will be happy, or the woman will be happy. Figure that out. They're open. They're essential. Do that, because then you'll see true colored people, and they're just like appreciative. Like, hey, that's nice. So that's a good side. Another one would be LinkedIn. I mean, I don't do other social media because when I hire people, I look at their social media, and that's just crazy. And try to get a diversified LinkedIn. Try to reach out and not have just all women or all men, but really have a big diversification of people from there. And the other thing I think right now, if I was in your spot, would be reading on a Hotel News Now or something like that, being in tune with what's happening in the industry and how people are reacting, because that will set you up for learning, because you're going to be here a lot longer than I am, and you're going to come back 50 years from now and going, oh, remember the time when everybody thought the world was going to go to hell, but you survived it, and what did you do from it, from that space?
You mentioned LinkedIn. Excellent question, by the way, Joanna. Thank you for asking that. You mentioned LinkedIn. How important has networking been in your career, personally and professionally?
Professionally, which is personally extremely valuable. Again, I know personally that should be, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, or something else. But my life is my profession. And so my friends are within LinkedIn. And yeah, I do want to see dogs, cats, babies. Okay. But I do want to know, what are they doing, like their businesses? What can I do to help their business? What can I do to celebrate them as what they're doing in their work? Because I'm sure, it's just, I love about LinkedIn is you're able to congratulate people on promotions outside of your job, which means you're able to share in that growth of their extremely important within LinkedIn in that environment, because you're able to find people, because people change hotels every 2 years. They're at a different hotel. You don't know where they are, but this LinkedIn helps you do it in a professional way, not a personal way.
Yeah,
but absolutely incredible.
If we were to go back, I love asking this question. I'm sure Joanna knows what's coming, but if we were to go back and talk to Tara when you first started your career and give her advice based on where you are now, what advice would you give yourself? I believe there's so much wisdom and experience. And so I love asking this question because the answers we get are usually just amazing. So I put that question to you.
I wouldn't change my life, because I wouldn't be where I am today as happy as I am. I strongly believe in that. I don't regret anything I did. Some stupid decisions, but whatever, made me stronger. I mean, little ones, not big ones. No, right. I didn't go to jail. But I would have gone and got an MBA much younger. If I could have afforded it, if I could have figured out a way to do that, I just couldn't. And if I, sacrificed enough to get to where I was, and then when you start making money, you like money. Sorry, but I was not willing to do top ramen again and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, unless it's the comfort food, but not because that's all I could afford. I really wanted to make more money. And so I would have definitely done an MBA. And the reason is because that just gives you a hump into the next one, where people think, and rightfully so, that you have more experience in thinking about expanding your ideas and expanding their experience. Definitely gets you there. And I probably would have got to where, I don't know, maybe different roles. Had I got an MBA, I would have been much further along if I wanted to be years and years ago. I guess the point is, do it while you're okay being poor. Mm-hmm. Because the more money you make, the less you want to give that up, and it's time. And when you have families, it's time. So if you can do it while you can, definitely I would do that, because it'll help you further down the line. The other thing I probably would have done is Well, I did move around a little bit, changing different jobs. Yeah, I think I would say with MBA.
All right.
I would have learned SQL. I would have figured out how to learn SQL way earlier because I wouldn't have to wait on somebody else to do it.
So people who don't know what SQL is, how would you define it?
It's writing code for data, so you don't have to use Excel and you're going into a database and
got it. Yes.
Pulling things out without.
Yeah. When you look at yourself right now, what are maybe some additional skills that you're looking forward to learning more about or developing?
I'm currently working on, well, what am I currently looking to do? It's harder to say, what am I looking to do now that I'm trying to learn on, because I've done a lot. I've done a lot of mentoring, I've done a lot of leading, I've done a lot of people management, project management, because I have to do it now because I don't have a project manager to do. And so that's really going back to like the basics of, okay, what is it? Very structured Gantt charts of got to do this by this day, got to do that day. So I would say learning it because I hadn't had to do it before because I had other people doing it.
Right.
A lot harder than it seems.
Yes, it is. It is definitely. Joanna, we're coming up on about 3 or 4 minutes left. So maybe your last question or so, and then I'll close it out. Back to you.
Okay. Curious question. I'm actually practicing SQL right now. And
See?
I'm
do you want a job?
Beginning, middle.
Yes, she does want a job. Go ahead, Joanna. Keep going.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
To hear, I'm still going.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm kind of curious to hear how far have you gotten and just, like where you are right now with it, because
pretty limited. I mean, I could open up the box and I could copy and paste and I can kind of think about what to fill in the filters, but no, pretty limited. It's a, I don't know why I'll probably do it this weekend since I remind myself how embarrassing it is. I said I'd do this for years and I haven't done it. So thank you, Joanna. I'll send you a test and we'll see which one gets better on this one.
Okay.
There you go. Connect on LinkedIn. Love it. Love it.
Definitely connect me. Anybody that's out there, connect on LinkedIn. If anything, I'm funny.
Yes, very funny. Yeah. Very wise too, though. Let's not discount that. Yes, very wise. If many of the students and recent graduates now are kind of stuck, when I say stuck, I mean they've had their internships taken away, they've had their full-time jobs taken away, and they really don't know how the economy is going to come back once this kind of passes. What advice would you give them to maybe, keep moving forward, stay positive? What words would you share with students who are kind of experiencing that right now?
Every little tiny step, you'll get there. So whether it's interviewing as much as you possibly can, because it's practice and it's developing your skills of communicating with another person and having that conversation. And that is, with this way this economy is going, is there's going to be an incredible amount of people, thousands and thousands and thousands of people that have been laid off, that have decades of experience more. And so while they may not have the technical experience that you're learning now, SQL, other things like that, coding, something like that, that will help you and advance you, or social media that they may or may not know, it's that ability to communicate with another person. So you have to practice it. It's a muscle. It is purely a muscle that you're not going to get better at it unless you do it a lot. And that's constant conversation. What is it, other David and Goliath or something, where you're only good if you do something for 10,000 hours. Well, Professor Roberts would probably, because I've learned from him the arts of BSing. I've done it well over 10,000 hours. So it's practice. Literally, it's practice. So I would encourage you, talk. You got to talk. Got to talk.
Yeah. Great advice. Well, we definitely want to say thank you for appearing on Industry Insider. We're so happy to have you. The wisdom you shared is great. Please stay in the green room because we have some follow-up questions for you after the show, so don't leave. Joanna, excellent job interviewing. Well done also. So just keep going. Incoming president for Behind the Scenes Club. So we're excited about what that brings. We're going to look at our upcoming guests, and then we'll look forward to seeing people tomorrow for Educate and Elevate. So make sure everyone out there stays safe. I will see you in the green room, Tara and Joanna, and let's play our closing video, and we'll see everyone very, very soon.
Next week's guest is Katie Peterson. Katie is currently the Director of Special Event Sales and Operations at House of Blues Anaheim for Live Nation Entertainment. She's a certified meeting professional with experience at companies like NBC Universal Media, the Walt Disney Company, and Live Nation. Please join us next Friday as we chat with Katie Peterson.